Hi, my name is Jenny. Welcome to my channel. For today's video, I will be doing my Spookathon TBR. Spookathon is a week-long readathon that takes place October 16th to the 22nd. It was started by Lala at Books and Lala. She is a host along with a few other booktubers. So let's get into the books. The first book in my TBR is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. So this book fulfills the challenge of reading a thriller. I think someone spoiled the book for me when I was online a week or so ago, but I have decided that I want to continue or go ahead and read the book. Just from what I know from reading the back of the book, the story follows Amy and Nick. They are about to celebrate their 5th anniversary as a married couple. Just as their big night arrives, Amy goes missing suddenly. During the police investigation that follows, Nick is unable to provide clear answers about what he knows about Amy's disappearance. So, I've had this book for over a year on my shelf, and I haven't been able to read it. So, hopefully, during this readathon, we will be able to catch up on some reading that I overall even. So, the next book in my TBR is Dracula by Bram Stoker. This book fulfills the challenge of reading a book that has a spooky word in the title, and to me, Dracula is a pretty spooky word. The cover itself is pretty spooky on its own. And so, I actually chose Dracula as one of my books to read in my TBR for Spookathon last year, but I wasn't able to get around to it. And so finally, now that I have this new edition, I am pretty excited to start reading it for Spookathon this week. Next in my TBR, The Steady Running of the Hour by Justin Go. So this book fulfills the challenge of reading a book about a childhood fear. So my childhood fear is the fear of heights, and it's something that I still affects me to this day. So whenever I climb up and down the stairs of the city train platform, I feel a bit nervous all the time, and so I think a way of explaining this fear has to do with something that happened to me as a kid. For a class field trip in grade 5 or 6, we went up the side of a mountain in a gondola, and at the top on the observation deck, I was able to look out across at the other mountain peaks, but when I got to the bridge, I wasn't able to cross over to the other side of the ridge because when I looked down, I experienced a bad case of vertigo, and although it may not exactly be the reason that I have a fear of heights, it is one explanation that comes to mind from something that occurred to me when I was a child. And so, how it relates to book is that part of the plot of the book is that there is a mountain climber who climbs up Mount Everest, and before he reaches the top, he actually passes away. And so that is written in the front flap of the book, so it's not a plot spoiler, but The Steady Running of the Hour is a historical fiction novel in which the author takes readers on a journey to throughout Europe in the early part of the 20th century. He takes readers to the London to from the London archives to a battlefield during World War One and to the forts of Iceland. So it's a bit of a fictionalized travel log. That is what I have been able to glean just by reading this description in the book. The next book in my TBR. Sorry, I'm burping because of a smoothie that I had. So the next book is "Stay with Me" by Ayobami Adebayo. This is the book club pick that Josh as Squibbles Reads has chosen for her book club for the month of October. And so this book fulfills the challenge of reading a book with orange on the cover. So I don't normally buy that many hardcover books, but this year has been an exception. I have been buying more hardcover books this year than I have in previous years. And so Stay With Me is one of them. And so the book follows two a couple, Yujide and Akun. Um, Early in their marriage, they have decided that they will be monogamous. But after a few years into their marriage, when Yujide is unable to become pregnant, um, her family members have other ideas. One day, when she opens the door, on her footstep is a woman. Her family says she is Akin's second wife, and from this uh, um, comes a conflict in the marriage between Yujide and Akin, and so this is a pretty interesting read just by reading the synopsis in the front cover, because I actually read Chinua Achebe's "Things Fall Apart" as part of required reading for an English class, and so that "Things Fall Apart" is a I say would be a classic modern novel from acclaimed Nigerian author Chinua Achebe, and it's been more than 50 years since that novel was published, and that novel had to explore colonialism and traditional marriage structures in which the husband is able to take more than one wife. And so it'll be interesting to read this newer author, Ayobami Adebayo. Stay With Me was published this year in 2017. So finally, the last novel in this TBR is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. So this book fulfills the challenge of reading a book that is set in a spooky setting. So in this book, we follow a character named Richard Mayhew. So one day, as he is walking about the city, he finds a young girl who is bleeding on the sidewalk of London. When she after helping her, he finds himself on a journey to uh, subterranean London, which means a trip to abandoned subway stations and sewage tunnels below the city. As you have seen so far, I haven't really investigated too much about the novels I have chosen for my Spookathon TBR. While I normally do a lot of research on my novels, at least um, a cursory, at least cursory um, a search uh, on Google, I have decided that I will go into these novels not knowing a lot about what they are about. Partly because I'm lazy about researching the novels, and another part is that I've heard so much about these novels over the years that this Spookathon is a chance for me to catch up on some reading that I've been meaning to do. Um, these so that's it for me on this video. Talk to you next time, and if you have chosen your picks for Spookathon, let me know what they are. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. Bye!